Could have told us that, couldn't you?
No. We needed like someone keep the alarm at like give us a message at 58 or something.
But no, you were saying like the venue stuff.
Best venue probably. I really like it's pretty good venue. Clifton House.
Okay, not work.
Because it's just huge. You've got so
Good
much
boys.
space to work with. You know,
Yeah.
like you've got gardens, you've got amazing like stairs, just so much in it. It all looks good. There's so many different ways you can shoot. There's so many angles you can find.
Yeah.
Yes, I know I should set a timer, Sherelle, but I didn't think we were going to hit an hour.
Didn't realise how much I could chat.
And that one, the one I filmed there, it was hilarious. So they had dogs there. The dogs were sitting at the top table, and they had like their dog bowl on the table. So they were sitting on the chair.
That's quality.
Like, eating it. But I heard them. They got their steak or whatever they got served wasn't the right like steak that the dog liked. So they sent the steak back, and it got replaced. And I just happened to overhear that message with like the dad saying to the caterer, like, "You need to fix this." And I thought that was
they requested
hilarious.
filet, and you brought them.
Yeah. The dogs know.
Yeah, they know. No, it's cool, man, and I get asked that question a lot. That's why I asked you, because it kind of stumps me a little bit. But I generally think that, like, fine, some of these venues are amazing, you know, Tuscany, blah blah blah. But if you like bring the right sort of people together, it could be in your back garden, and it could be such an amazing wedding. I think that couples forget that it doesn't have to be like some grand like thing. I've shot weddings in, you know, ridiculous venues, and like because there's been no atmosphere, you're like, this isn't very good. Yeah, this is a bit meh. But like, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but it's just, yeah, it's interesting.
Keep the questions coming, guys. Give us more questions.
Otherwise, we're going to end this thing. What are your favourite wedding themes? I like a manor house. I like a sort of chill. I like more chill stuff. I don't like it to be too stuffy and too like formal. I like the formal aspect of, you know, a nice ceremony, but I don't want it to be like too strict that everyone's a bit like they don't want to do anything silly, and like if they break a glass, everyone's like so.
You want the way to go up.
Literally, hey, and then everyone smash a glass. You know, like, but yeah, I don't know. Like I think there's a nice sort of mix. I think you want that formality, but also you want people to have fun, and like I want to see people going absolutely nuts on the dance floor. Like if they're not going crazy, then something's gone wrong. Yeah. And that, again, another pet hate is when you're like, it's like 10:30, 11, and you know you're waiting for stuff to happen. You're sitting there waiting, you know, and like nothing's happening. You're like, come on, someone go mad, because that can get a bit boring. Yeah. But
I think like one of my top tips to couples is always have live music, whether it's like a band or you know, it's not just plug a Spotify playlist in and hope for the best type thing. You need somebody that can kind of read the room and react to the room and play certain things at certain times to get it doing stuff. So I think that's massively important.
Yeah, I agree. There's what are they called? There's a band around here. I can't remember the name. Oh, Jupiter Ray. And I have never seen, apart from one wedding where it was Catherine and Ben's wedding, where they had this band called like Rhythm of the 90s. And I'm not joking. It was the most insane. It felt like I was at a gig. Like everyone was like jumping at the same time. It was going absolutely mental. Like sweat was everywhere. And like I've got a wicked photo of Catherine, and like her hair's going crazy. And I didn't want to leave that dance floor. I like stayed there till like the end pretty much, because I was like buzzing. So yeah, like go for it, and definitely if you want to do it properly, get a live band. No disrespect to some of the OG DJs, but like you don't want a guy going like
OG DJs.
DJ, like, you know, yo, let's get a couple down here, like like nah, just no.
There's different ways to do it now,
and also have a planner.
Planner helps so much.
Yeah, exactly. Give me some questions. Come on, people. He likes the money. Ha ha. Cheers, Alex. Johnny MP, hello. I always forget how you say Dara. I don't know how to say her name. Hello.
Who is it?
So I'm shooting a wedding for a guy called Max and Sinead, and it's the sister, and she's lovely. We met in Italy shooting a wedding. No, France. So Johnny, what are you saying?
So what's your favorite one that you've got booked in? Like, is there one that you can't wait to shoot? Well, can't wait to shoot more than others? Is there an absolute banger?
Well, again, like, if I'm being all like official, all my weddings are important. But of course, there's weddings that I'm more excited about. So there's one in Italy. It's at a place called San Galgano or something, and it's basically this like outdoor. It's this cathedral that's all fallen down, and you get married in the ruins.
I know what one you mean.
Oh my god, it has been on my bucket. Tell your France dry story. I don't know that one. Oh, I'll think of that. So it's all fallen down, and it just looks insane. Like honestly, I cannot wait. But it was meant to be this year in September, and Natasha and Aaron, they've had to move it to next year. Luckily, I'm able to do it. So. That is the wedding I'm looking forward to, because it's always been on my bucket list. Like for years, I've wanted to shoot that. And when that inquiry came in, I was literally like, "Oh god, finally!" So yeah, that one.
I've seen some amazing drone stuff from that one as well. Like flying it, you can fly
through
it
the hole.
Through the hole.
Yes, that was Ben. I don't know if he did it first, but Ben Morton. Yeah. In fact, I think is he shooting that with me? I was due to shoot a wedding with him in Tuscany this year, but it's been postponed because of everything. But yeah, he's a brilliant videographer as well. There's some good ones out there, like yourself, pretty good. All right.
Thanks, mate. We had one. Who knew there was another little actual question box? So if you hit the little question mark next to the comments, it brings up questions. Can you see that? Or
I don't see that. Nah, I only see.
Okay. So Toby sent us one, but I guess he wasn't on earlier when we talked about it. It's like, do you enjoy working alongside videographers, or do you prefer like just doing your own thing? I guess. I don't mind. Do you always solo shoot in terms of photography, or
no? So again, I always say to couples, if they've got over like 120, 150 guests, or like around that mark, maybe it's better to have two photographers, just because for coverage, trying to get everyone. I mean, I can still do it, but sometimes it's easy if you've got someone else there just to help out. And then if you've got like a church ceremony, it's always best to have two if they want to get front and back like angles, because again, like we've said, some of the vicars can be quite tricky. What was the question?
So do you enjoy it?
Yeah, do you know what, mate? I don't mind it. And I've met some really cool guys over dinner, and like we've chatted and like basically have a romantic meal with someone that you met a few hours ago. But no, like, and a lot of the time, some of them hopefully are on the same like kind of page as me, and we have banter, and like we're like laughing at stupid stuff that we know is going to happen. Yeah. All this sort of we've done it, mate. So yeah, I don't mind it. I just want them to I want to be on the same page so that we all get what we need to get. And if they're not, and if they're making it tricky, then it's just like it's another hurdle you have to like jump over to get what you need. It's like first thing is the vicar, you got to like work your magic with them to be like, look, honestly, I'll be really quiet. I'll stand at the back. I won't cause any problems. And and then you've got to work with a videographer that like has about 1,000 tripods and just deliberately like steps in your way. But no,
have you seen the ones with wheels on the tripods? Have you watched any of them yet?
No, I haven't, but I imagine they'd be quite a cool shot. But yeah, to answer that question, I don't mind it. They're cool. They're there to do a job. We're there to do a job, and I try and get on with everyone.
Yeah. Again, it's just back down to that. Just be a nice person and don't be a dick, and you're 100%. All good.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. Did we talk about awards earlier?
Nah.
You've got a few, haven't you?
Oh yeah, whatever. I cringe at this stuff. There's a few. Yeah, it's
if you can't blow your own trumpet, I don't know where I'm going with that one.
It's cool, man. Like it's nice to be recognised for it, and like the Wedding Industry Awards is cool because the main thing that I take from it is all the nice feedback that you get. So it's an easy way to collate all your like couples information. So they fill out a form and then they basically say all the stuff they want to say about you.
Yeah. It's quite a big form though, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot to fill out, yeah. But no, it's great. And actually, to be fair, I've done all right with bookings because of it. So it just gives couples a little bit more like they're a bit more like, okay, cool, this guy knows what he's doing. It makes them feel like they can trust you a bit more.
just that final little piece in the jigsaw that if everything else is good, it's just like another stamp of approval.
Yeah, and I'm not saying awards that should be the difference at all, because I know loads of photographers that don't even enter awards and they're like unbelievably talented. So I would also say to couples, don't buy in just because of that. Like, definitely make sure that you get on with them. But I've definitely booked weddings because of it as well. So But like, if it could be the difference between, say me and you are up against each other to book a wedding, and we're similar price points.
Everything else is equal.
Yeah, and they might just go, oh, okay, cool. Well, he's like got more industry awards. You could make up your own award and put it on your website, and literally a couple would have no idea. Like, maybe that's what I've done.
Some of them are made up.
Yeah, literally.
Some of those bodies are made up.
The EBWSC wedding award thing, but no, like, it's cool, and again, I like that other photographers kind of decide the winners. Like, I've never won it nationally. I've been the regional winner for like the East of England, which is cool because it means other photographers are saying nice things about you, which I like, and that's cool because it means that you must be doing something right.
Yeah. So,
I need that validation,
You need it. Helps you sleep at night.
That's it.
Wait there, I've got one. Let's just touch on pricing real quick. So just prices on or off the website?
They're not on there, but I send out a brochure, like a digital brochure, with every couple that inquire. Mainly because I want to collate all the inquiries that I get and see where they're coming from. So when you inquire with me, you have to like put in where the inquiry came from, and that's going to help me to like generate more bookings in the future, because I can then maybe target areas that are or aren't doing as well. So like, if it's coming from Instagram mainly, fine, I'll do some Instagram ads, or if it's coming from blah blah blah. So that's
so
why
there's like a sense of like a data, like a proper
a little bit
reason for doing that.
Yeah, sort of subconsciously. I'm not really like, I'm not sitting there like going through
going through the graphs and stuff.
I get an idea of where I'm at, and I always tell couples to at least like look over the brochure before they book in for like a face-to-face or a studio or a Skype, just because I don't want them to be like shocked when they open it, or they're not shocked, or like it's not anywhere near their budget. Like, I remember a couple of years ago, I booked a couple in, and I sent them the brochure and I said, make sure you look at it, and they're like, yeah, cool. Then they came in, they sat down, we went through everything, teas, coffees, we sat there for an hour before we start talking about pricing. I passed a brochure over, and they're like, yeah, you're like $2,000 more than we can afford. And like, this is a few years ago, and I was like, they wanted to spend 500 quid, and I was like $2,500. So I was like, it just felt like a waste of time. And I was like, if you'd just read their time as well, not just mine, but like everyone's time was wasted, because we were nowhere near going to be on the same wavelength.
Yeah. So what are you sort of starting at now for just you or whatever?
So full day coverage, it's our digital luxe package, is 2,850. That includes all day coverage.
2,850.
Yeah.
Tough guy.
What?
It's not bad.
That's all right.
Starting, bro.
Yeah, so that includes all day coverage. That's 15 years experience, don't forget.
Yeah. I know. I'd pay twice that for you.
I'm a baby. That's all day coverage. They get their images on like USB and some other bits and bobs, and I feel like there's some value added with kind of the way we do stuff. So like, when you book, you get some little gifts in the post, and there's like things that get you excited about the wedding, and then afterwards you get like quite a cool box. I'd grab one, but it's over there.
It's and
you get like prints and like chocolate and champagne and just all things that make it all exciting. So
full experience, red letter day.
Absolutely, yeah, no, absolutely, and I'm a big sucker for like an Apple product. So you want to open stuff and it's all beautifully boxed and lovely, and that for me, like, I spent far too much money on the branding and the boxes for this year. I used a company called Luxury Box Limited. And they're local around here. They did a brilliant job, but like quite a lot of money was spent on these boxes. So like, I'm like telling every couple, like, did you like that box? You better have liked that box.
Like that box.
Yeah, but no. So it starts at 2,850, and then the top package is like $8,000. So there's sort of like lots of room for people if they want to spend money and if they want certain things. So like, top package includes like loads of albums and all this and that, and just blah blah blah, like literally full coverage. So we pretty much won't leave the wedding till the end. And who shot that wedding with me? I think it was either Chris or Emma, and we Oh, it was Chris. Yeah, we last year we did a wedding at Brimpton House. I forget how you say it. Oh, it's in Devon. It was, and I'm not joking. The dance floor was absolute chaos. It was so fun. Everyone was literally long arming champagne. It was mental. Like, and they, I mean, yeah, it was a bloody Jerry and Jack. Jerry and Jack. Yeah, amazing wedding. So fun. So fun. And actually, that's why we always try and let couples know that we stay quite late, because that seems to be one of the things that couples always inquire about. They always say, so what's, like we've spoken to another photographer and they leave straight after the first dance. Like, I'm like, nah, not us, mate. We stay. So we'll stay real late because that's when the party gets going. Normally, that's what I was saying earlier. When it doesn't, you're sitting there like, come on,
please.
But so there's pricing for everyone really. And I mean, again, I've got a question for you now. Like, how often do you find that you get ghosted? Because that's something that I get.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm kind of like almost opposite to. I'm like prices on the website but that's very like personal to me and why I believe that I want mine on there. Because if prices aren't on the website for something that I want to buy, no matter what that is, I will, unless I'm like dying to get it, I won't reach out to them. So that's just based on my personal approach. But one thing that's been really good for us is, so we're totally a la carte. So they pay for like the coverage time on the day. So that's like $9.95, and that's the base. So they can actually book us for $9.95, but they'll never see any of the footage that they filmed. And then they've got to pay for the different edits afterwards. So with confetti, it's $2,000 minimum. So they have to find like $1,000's worth of edits that they want afterwards. And that gives me a little bit of flexibility because there's a little quote builder on the website. So they just tick boxes and it calculates as they go. And I think that's been really like instrumental in still being all right, because I've seen people who put the list of the options on the pricing page, like 5-minute film, 20-minute film, like full ceremony, and they have prices next to them. But I don't think couples really want to be like adding things up on themselves. That, you know, I know it's simple to just get your phone out and get the calculator, but you're probably not really going to do that. So having it actually calculate itself, I think, is like a massive part of why that works for us.
No, it's really interesting, and I've dabbled with doing something similar. So you can, because again, the pricing our pricing isn't on the website. However, you've only got to dig a little bit and you'll find it. Like it's literally like it's there, and then everything is sort of like you could calculate the like all the extras the pricing is on there. So I'd like to do what you do and have that option where you could like tick things and it would just literally give you a grand total, because that just would make people's lives easier. I might do it, to be fair.
And that's where because we have like a generic blank sort of contact us form, but the bottom of that quote builder turns into a contact form, and that's when those are my hottest leads that I get through. Like if I get a lead through that's just from the contact form, it's actually quite rare that it books, to be honest. It's all about like, I guess just because they haven't got any idea of what's like what you're saying earlier, they need to have known up front that you're in that ballpark. Otherwise, it's just a waste of everybody's time.
I agree. And actually, you're probably right. I probably do need to have like prices from, just because, like I was saying about the ghosted question. Like I do get, I'll get 300-400 inquiries a year. I don't know how many, like loads. A lot. I feel like my inbox has got ping, ping, ping. But then I'll book like a very, very small amount of bookings. However, they tend to be like good weddings. So it's tricky, isn't it?
I hadn't thought of it from the perspective, because I just, like, for me, I just don't want to deal with like 300-400 inquiries. But my problem is I don't get enough like inquiries through.
Because the one thing I'd say to you, mate, is I mean, I guess if your pricing is on there, at least you know what your if they've inquired, they at least know the pricing.
Yeah, like, so my booking percentage is really, really high. I probably book about 50%.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, mate. It's tricky because I'd like to, but then I also believe that like I'm not a salesperson, but like if somebody gets in touch and they go, look, you're like £1,500 over like what we were anticipating spending, I'm like, but like have a look at a few more galleries and like, let's have a little Skype, and then hopefully you sort of like you build a nice relationship, because it shouldn't be as easy as, like, I mean, maybe it is for some people, but like just booking a wedding like that, I had one this morning, which was great. Like, but it doesn't always happen like that. So,
Yeah.
you know, we are still selling a product, and I think people forget that, like, sometimes you do have to work them a little bit to get them on side. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But we've got a question here. Favorite lens from Andrea. Hello. My favorite lens, probably Nifty 50. I like that lens. It's a good lens. And I also I've just got the 135 because Harry Michael had it and I love him. So, but it's a great lens. It's the 135 is sick. Such a nice lens. But yeah, 50. My like on the wedding day, my go-to is 35-50. However, I'm going to probably change that to like 35-50 and a 135 occasionally. I'm going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger with all these cameras. But
what are you shooting on gear-wise? What brand are you?
Canon. Here you go. One here. There you go. There's my 135. I've been shooting. Oh, that's the macro. Sorry. So I've got a 5D Mark IV. I've got a Mark III. I just couldn't really bring myself to spend all that money on two Mark IVs, so I kind of just use this one here as the sort of like all day, and then I've got the backup for other stuff. But yeah, what about you? Are you Sony?
Yeah, well, I'm still mixed actually, to be honest. So 2 Sonys and 1 Panasonic, but the Panasonic is only for like ceremonies. So it's the app is really good for it. So like leaving it unattended, I've still got full control over it and stuff, and I trust the connection a lot more. Yeah, because the Sony Bluetooth, I don't really trust it that much. Whereas the Panasonic cameras, I would say, are actually like ideal for shooting videography for weddings, apart from the low light performance. But I think from like a workhorse point of view, you know, you can probably do a whole wedding on 2 batteries, you know, and just getting rid of batteries, getting rid of like multiple memory cards. It just takes away so much more little things that you have to think about. You know, I'm shooting Sony just now, and I'm having to like strategically think about when voice is going here. Like strategically think about when I'm gonna change my battery and stuff. And like I've always got like pockets full, whereas with Panasonic I never had that. I had like the one battery was in the camera and this one in my jacket pocket, and it was like, okay, it's either in the camera or, you know. So.
Well, I I get asked that all the time, like what gear to use. I'm literally like, the camera that you've got and the most reliable camera you've got is the best camera, because it's all good like having all these fancy new things, but like I'm not joking, and I'll touch wood, but I've never ever been let down by them cameras. And I did a little interview thing with what's that camera bag thing? What's in my bag? Whatever. Anyway, this online thing, and I made a big point to say like they're like the tanks of the industry, like a Canon 5D Mark III or Mark IV. Like I could throw it. Oh mate, yeah, but like I could throw it around. I could get rained on, like, and it is never going to let me down. Touch wood, it hasn't yet. So I just go for like reliability, and like at this level, these cameras like are all pretty much similar. Everyone talks about, you know, Alex Tenners, for instance, always talks about Sony being like the best for focusing. Like, I don't care, mate. That camera works just fine. I can focus that. So it's probably the bad person on the camera, not the camera itself. So yeah, although they do misfire a lot, I do tend to have loads of blurry photos. We have
inquires confidence and makes you feel happy. It does, but to be honest, I trust my product. Like, I don't want to sound like a dick here, but I trust my product enough that I don't need.
But I can appreciate what he's saying. There. Like Alex is.
I mean, it does. It makes you feel good. Of course, it does.
Yeah, and actually, again, this is going to sound really bad, and I'm sure if there's any couples listening, but the best ones I've had, and this has happened a few times, is where they've booked somebody else, but they found you, and so they're like desperately trying to get out of their current booking so they can book you. But that's not fine. It's a little bit of like makes your head feel good, but that means that they really, really trust in your work. So I see it from the point of view that like I'm going to smash this wedding because they've really put their trust in me. Like they had someone book, they've gone through the motions of booking someone, and now they've actually gone, I want to book this guy because I really vibe off their work or whatever. Yeah. So I'm going to go to that wedding like I do with every wedding, but like I'm going to really, really want to smash that wedding for them. Because they they might have lost their deposits. They've lost a few £100 just because they want to change, just because they want to book you. And again, it does make you feel good though.
I think my phone's about to die, to be honest.
Oh no! How do those Mark IVs do in the desert? Yeah, they were fine. There's still dust literally coming out of them now, so I'm still clearing out the dust. But no, they were good. They were good, Harry. Thanks, mate. And I managed to get the drone into Abu Dhabi, so didn't get arrested, which was good. You're welcome, Alex. You're welcome. Hello, Natalie. She's awesome. Natalie J. Weddings, her photos are sick. What do you use to calculate that then? What was the question?
I think maybe he's talking about my little quote builder thing. It's just a plugin on WordPress. There is a free version. The one we've got is paid, but I did used to use the free version. I think it's literally called Cost Calculator. Like they got really imaginative when they had that like meeting around the table to come up with a name for it. They're like, what does it do? What do we want to? Yeah, so Cost Calculator is the free version.
Okay.
What else?
Hang on.
Are you going to switch to Sony? Well, no, I guess is what you went.
Absolutely not. Rob, we go again, mate. We need to go. We need to get drunk together at some point. So I'm just Sluty. Yeah. Lissy Moore. Favorite lens. Where do you find? Okay, cool. We've answered most of them. Are you going to switch to Sony? No. And neither is anyone else. Any other questions, people? It's all gone a bit quiet.
It's got 24 people though. That's the record for the whole hour and a half.
And we're now just sitting here like, okay, cool. So anyway, yeah, go on. Any more questions? I'm trying to think of it. There's a question up here about funny stories, but I can't.
Oh yeah, she did. Yeah, she said any funny stories. So like,
yeah,
I can fill the gap. So we've got one wedding where we call it the cursed wedding. So it was like the vicar was so anal, and she was like, "No, you have to come and meet me beforehand." I was like, "Well, that's just not happening. I'm not driving like an hour each way to come and meet you. I'm just not." And then she was like, "Okay, well, come early on the day." I was like, "Pain in the arse, but all right, fine, whatever."
Yeah.
So I go out to my car in the morning, won't start. And I'm like, "Oh my God!" And then eventually it starts. So I'm driving like 5 minutes, and then it's just got white smoke pouring out the bonnet.
The bonnet, yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, what's happened here? And then so I've just pulled over and been like, shit, I'm fucked. And I'm looking around like, can I hire a car? Is it too late? It's not like too late, but it's borderline.
Yeah.
So eventually, like, I think I just put a real quick post up on Facebook. My mate, who was probably like 10 streets away, he's like, you can borrow my car. It's a piece of shit. And you need to get petrol for it, but you can borrow it. So I just jumped in his, legged it there, but obviously I'd missed meeting the priest, and I don't get changed. I get changed when I arrive for prep, or whatever, so I'm not sitting in a shirt in the
I do the same, yeah.
Especially if it's hot and stuff, and you're just like a bit sweaty on the drive. So I rocked up to the vicar in my Arsenal shirt and a pair of shorts. And
probably not the best.
Yeah. So I missed bride prep, but I spoke to the bride and she was like, it's happened, don't worry about it. Just get here for the ceremony and we're good. So I rocked up. So the groomsmen and all the guests and that are already at the church, and I'm knocking about in my Arsenal gear trying to find the vicar to have a talk to. And then she's like talking to me like a child, and it just kind of knocks you for the rest of the day. So then anyway, got back in the swing, got going, and then we put a 5D Mark II just as a backup camera. We clamped it onto this. We didn't know it was movable, but like a board up the back that they'd used to like cut off the room with. So we went back to it, and it was like, oh, where have all the boards gone? They've just been like wheeled away as the room's been turned around. So the camera was nowhere to be seen. Nobody knew anything about it. So we were like, had like half-hour panic of just like, we've lost. What
we're gonna do? Yeah, like a proper camera as well. That's
and then eventually we got it back, and then dropped my iPad, smashed the screen, and then just to like finish it off, putting the gear in the car at the end of the night, phone fell out of the pocket, landed like where the boot closes on the car, closed the boot.
Oh,
phone smashed. So iPhone, iPad, running around after a camera, dodgy vicar, broken down car. That was that one.
That's not good. That's not good. It's I don't know. I've not had that many like disasters, and never had anything as bad as that. But it's been the odd thing. I remember following, like wheeling backwards as the couple were coming in to the room after, to sit down, and everyone's going woo like this. So I was backing up, and if I don't know if they'll even remember. For me, it felt like the whole world had like swallowed me up, and everyone was like, "Oh god!" But I was backing up, and they had this like plexiglass. You know how that was a bit of a thing for a while, like
yeah, with the names and stuff.
Yeah, and it was huge. And obviously, I must have done a little look and seen there was nothing there, but it was obviously see through. And I've gone back, and the groom, I've literally got this shot as I'm going back, and I can see him going like this, and he's like tried to grab me. I've fallen into this plexiglass. Luckily, it didn't smash or anything. It just fell. It was like all wobbly or whatever.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, even now I'm like cringing that this happened. But yeah, that was pretty bad.
All eyes on you for a minute as well.
Well, yeah, but also you think that they are, but they're probably not. People just go, "What an idiot!" He just fell over, and then they literally carry on with their lives. Yeah. But in my head, I was like, "I've ruined. Like, everyone's going to take the piss out of me forever. I'll never live this down." Like, but yeah, no one really cared, so that was fine. There's like other stuff, but I can't really talk about it.
Yeah, I've got one other, but it's
not today. Not today. It's a closed group conversation. Now, I'll tell you, whoever asked that question. Andrea, I'll tell you privately. But yeah, what is it? I can't see the questions. Like, how?
I think that's about it. We didn't.
Oh, what's your hardest wedding to shoot and why? What was your hardest wedding? Hardest wedding. There's a venue here called Hedingham Castle, and it is renowned for being really tricky. And I've shot there. I've only shot there once. And basically, it's this big old castle. It's a lovely venue, but it's like one of those old castles where the only light comes through those tiny little like bow and arrow slits.
Yeah.
You know how like the old castles have that.
Yeah.
So during the ceremony, it's practically pitch black, and I mean you crank your ISO to like 1,000,000, and even then it's still dark. So that I remember doing that, and that was a few years ago when probably not as experienced as I am now. And I don't use flash during the ceremony as well, so like I would never like flash that. But I've seen people do it, and I just don't like flashing ceremonies because I just feel like you are really like
it's proper.
Yeah, really intrusive.
Yeah.
So that was pretty tricky. But I've had weddings where it's like absolutely hammered it down all day. I did a wedding in France, and I'm not joking. From like start to basically the end, it just didn't stop raining, and I was gutted like for the couple. Because I really wanted to get them outside and do these wicked photos, and we had like a window of like 5 minutes. And to be fair, Vicky and Don, the wedding was a few years ago, and we managed to get outside. They'll remember, and we got outside for a few minutes to get some photos. But apart from that, it just was like just didn't stop raining. But I'm like, there's loads of other stuff like bride's dresses ripping, but like I try and again, that's probably the same as yourself. Like try and be a sort of calming face in like the face of all that stuff. So like when bride's dresses are ripped, and there's a big panic. I'm like, it's all right. Someone find some things we'll stitch it. Like, whatever we've got to do to make this work. And normally that can sort of calm them down. And the other thing I'd say as well, it tends to be the bride's mum who causes everyone to have a panic. So if there's any bride's mums out there or anyone who's getting married and I'm shooting their wedding and your mum, tell her to chill out because she's going to frustrate you.
She's the one.
Yeah, the bride tends to be there. Like the bride's like, yeah, cool, no worries. But the mum's like, why aren't you panicking? So yeah, bride's mums, not the ones.
Not the ones. What's the best part of your job, guys? What do you love to the point of dancing?
Who wrote that? That's a good question.
Sophie.
Go on, you go first.
So you can think of a good one, and I just have to reel off my quick one.
Well, no, for me, I love the. Like I can be on the way to a wedding, say I've done 3 or 4 in a row, like which does happen, and I'm driving to this wedding, and I'm feeling pretty like demotivated because I'm just tired and like it's 9 o'clock in the morning and I didn't get in till midnight, blah blah blah. Then you arrive at bridal prep and maybe you've had an argument with your girlfriend or you're like having a bit of a crap morning. You just woke up a bit crap. You turn up and then that vibe in that bridal suite just completely flips my mood. Like it's like therapy, honestly. No word of a lie. Like I can go in there literally like I'm in such a foul mood, and then within a minute, because I can feel the vibe and everyone's so buzzing, like I just feel good again. And like it is, I don't know anything else that makes me feel like that. Like it is so good, and it's my job. Like it's sick.
I think that ties into what my like favorite thing about it is. Like it's such a good industry to work in. Like where else can you go to work and everybody there is out with a positive attitude to have a good time. Like nobody's there that doesn't want to be there, except maybe a +1 or whatever who you'll never speak to. Yeah. But like everybody is there with the best mindset to like, yes, we're gonna get on it today. We're gonna have a brilliant day. Like beers flowing, Prosecco's there. Like,
yeah.
what more do you want? What more
No,
do you want?
I agree, and actually, that's why I keep hammering on about destinations. But like, when there's like it doesn't even have to be a destination. If it's like an event over a few days, that for me, it just keeps building and building until like the wedding day, and then the wedding party is just mental. And then if they've got a party the next day, that's mental. And I just feel like it's. You still there?
My phone's dying.
Oh, should we call it there?
We'll do one. If anybody's got one more question, we'll do one more.
Do you have favorites? Johnny, that's a rubbish question. Favorites of what? Like favorite weddings or favorite?
I'm just like, I had charged my phone in prep. This was
Sure
from,
you have.
like...
Sure you have. I mean, my phone's fine.
85%. It's an old phone.
Dodgy vicar. Can you cut your hair? Yeah, I will. I will cut it. And hardest wedding shoot and why? Yeah, sort of covered that. Are you going to switch Sony? Johnny's question is like, do you have favourites? I definitely do have favourites. Like, no question. Yeah,
Favourite
couples, venues, like everything. Like, I've got a list of the venues I love shooting at the most. And you know, if there's ever any wriggle room with like my pricing, it's a good couple who like really, really like my work at a cool venue that I like working at, or one that I've not worked at. If you mesh them together, I'm happy because, again, I talked about it before, experience over like money, because like that Tuscany wedding last year, I'll remember that till I die. Like, it was so fun, and like I've now become really chummy with the couple, and like I just love that. Like, what other industry would allow that to happen? Like, sick, sick. And it gets travel lots, so yeah. Is that I have one more? Go on, Ed.
Come on then. It's got to be a good one now.
What did you have for breakfast? I had avocado, eggs, and on a bagel. It's delicious.
That sounds much better than mine.
What did you have?
You'll laugh at it because I doubt anybody else has it. So I don't know.
Haggis.
Well, it is kind of Scottish. It was porridge, but not sweet porridge. Just porridge made with water in the pot, and then shitloads of salt, like absolute shitloads of salt. And then milk, so it's like cereal, like floating around in it. But,
oh my god!
The salt makes it.
You are wrong, mate. You're on my little list, but you're not on there anymore. What do you think about photographers work the hardest this wedding? What do you think? I don't get. I'm struggling with that question.
Like, do we think that we are the hardest workers aside from the caterers?
Yeah, I'm going to say yeah. I think we do. I think
so.
Hair and makeup, they're fine. They got to get there early, but they leave by like 11. And then obviously after the wedding, like fine, on the wedding day is one thing, but then we've obviously got all the work afterwards as well. But I wouldn't say that like we're any harder working. Sorry, over there. Oh, okay. She thinks we're the hardest working. Thanks. Yes. So, but yeah, I think that we work pretty hard. I mean, I pretty much don't stop for like 15 hours, so I would say that. But then it isn't really work, is it? It's just fun. Like, you're just doing what you enjoy doing. So I think that's definitely, like, again, if there's anyone out here and they want some advice, do a job that you actually like doing, and it won't really feel like a job because you're enjoying it. So, but yeah, I think we work pretty hard. And I've seen some lazy people like at weddings, like staff and stuff. Again, I did a wedding in Lake Garda last year, and it was the first wedding of the year. Wedding ceremony was happening on the edge of this like cliff with the sea over here, and you could see the storm rolling in, and they had all these wedding people at the back, and they just stood there and had all these brollies at the back, didn't do anything. And I was like, at one point, and then I ran to the back, I was like, can you lot get some brollies for the couple, because they're literally drenched? And they literally went, oh, like in Italian, like, oh, okay, like, and they ran off to get these brollies. I was like, isn't this what you're here for? Like, that is what your job is, and you just stood at the back like this, like, not doing anything. So, yeah, there are lazy people, but I feel like most of the people that I've worked with, like yourself and anyone else, we work pretty hard. Like, you wouldn't. I don't think you'd get booked for that wedding.
Yeah, if you didn't.
You didn't, because people buy into that. But registrars are the hardest working.
I'm gonna have to wrap it. Even one of my headphones has died now. So.
All right, sorry. If anyone's got any other questions, just inbox me. I'm happy to chat, or I'll do another live. It's just so fun. Let's do this every day.
Every day until the end of quarantine.
Wicked. No, cool. Thanks for having me on, mate.
No, nice one, mate. Just for very informative, open, honest answers and stuff. It was good.
And be honest, was I your favourite? Have I been your favourite?
Yeah. Up to.
Yes. Nice one, man.
Cool. All right, mate. Nice one. Cheers for that, buddy.
Cheers, everybody. All the
See you
best.
later. Thanks everybody for
Bye.
joining. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.